our first map for this last match of the day is going to be Northern Isles. And maps indeed are going to be relevant, very much so for the players here and for the strategy. In this matchup, we've been seeing a ton of Pele rifles over recent times, a little bit less so lately with some of the nerfs, but it's also a lot down to the maps. It's going to be the big questions here. Is it going to be a Pele rifle game or not? Let us to find that out quickly and make adjustments. Obviously, Infi can kind of dictate the pace of where this game is going to go with either Pele rifle or Archmage play or maybe even Mountain King. And to finally give us the answer here, it is Pele rifle for map number 1.
There it is. I want to throw out another stat for the people who weren't here earlier for the pre-show. The last Infi win against Lin was 2020. That is 5 years ago. Since then, one beating after the next. Didn't matter if Infi played human, night elf, orc, or undead. Lin was always superior. It would be quite insane if Infi breaks that streak here today. Lin is the big favorite. Lin looked incredible, but you shall never underestimate the Iceman.
Yeah, his last win as human, by the way, is even longer ago. June 2019, NEXT Spring. Is today the day to break that long streak? Infi would make many Orc fans out there very sad. He's beginning with a bit of Pele rifle creeping. Obviously, Fasir quick coming in for the harass, forcing the Holy Light. And so far, good defense by Infi, but it's going to cost him some mana.
I think Infi is very comfortable in the antagonist role. Knowing him a little bit, he feeds off the agony of other people, of the misery of other people. And of course, a lot of people are rooting for Lin. Last Orc player, top 3 performer, super likable as well. If Infi could ruin the show for all the Lin fans out there, he'd love that.
In the last couple of games with Pele rifle, by the way, we saw from Infi, we very often saw an early Arcane Tower. He was the only human to do this. This makes you a lot safer against the Wolf harass, but of course slows down your tech by a lot. Not doing it this time, so apparently wants to be able to make use of a quicker tech this time around, but of course still the Orc tech is going to be far ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's skipping the Arcane Tower, as you said. He's not making up for that with a 4th rifle, as we've sometimes seen before. So just the classic established 3 rifle build. Tech now, tower now. Lin has improved his anti-Pele rifle game tremendously in the past. We've seen more Naga seconds. On some maps we see Alchemist second. And the latest development is TC second. And that looked terrifying.
Shout out to the inventor who's in the chat, Starbuck right now, watching this game with interest. He said, first they stole the Pele rifle build from me and then they stole the counter from me. So he is indeed the guy who's innovating here on the forefront. And yeah, I wonder what hero it is going to be. Well, we get the answer now. It is the Tauren Chieftain.
Yeah, Lin, this time on the pulse of time, on the pulse of meta. So far, very few exchanges. We got a couple of Holy Lights. That's, I think, a little win for Infi. No big damage done, damage distributed. Now, I've seen Lin early games against Pele rifle where he killed the blacksmith. I'm not getting tired of saying that because it was so outrageous. But here, no rifle dead. Still mana available. And at some point, you gotta creep up that TC.
The player's forces are under attack.
Tech to tier 3 begins. Of course, the Orc is going to be trying to go towards Tauren. Those end up being very, very good against rifle in the late game for obvious reasons. And then normally the human is forced to respond with his own tier 3 with Griffins later on. Lumber in that equation is going to be very important. Right now Infi is quite low on lumber. He's going to continue to have the much slower tech here.
Indeed. We are cruising towards Tauren with the totem up, with the tech queued, with the tech upgrades done. For Infi, there is not much wiggle room. We can speculate how many Tauren, how many totems, tier 3, expansion, when, what, whatever. For Infi, it's relatively clear. Blood Mage second, long rifles upgrade, Blood Mage of course, and then basically the question if you want to push or if you want to tech or if it's both with a mix. For now, focus will be on creeping and that for both players.
Big camp here, quite ambitious by Infi. He's gonna get the big item from the center camp, and you take a lot of damage here spread on all the riflemen. This is something you never want to have. You want to have only few rifles damaged to heal up with Holy Light. This is pretty uncomfortable right now, but of course that's where the Regen Scroll comes in. And maybe where the Farseer can be really annoying as well. Farseer would love to stick around here to make healing as hard as possible.
Yeah, this has been a classic play, especially in the European scene. The Asian players neglected it for a long time. If the Regen Scroll comes in, the Farseer wants to be there, shoot, 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 cancel that healing. But he has to wait a little bit for the Blood Mage to arrive, and this Paladin is not looking too good. Same for the rifles. The poison was ticking for a long time. TC, already level 2.4. Nice little start.
Creeping up with the Wolves, going over to the Tuskar. I'm not actually sure if this is level 3. But it would be certainly with a small green camp. So good progress here on the TC. And I would say that's a decent early game so far for both. Both getting kind of what they want. Of course, Pally would love to have faster level ups, but he knows with the Farseer harassing, unrealistic. This is a pretty even start. So
I agree. A lot of people might be asking, TC, what led to the TC? Well, first and foremost, the Panda nerf. You always want to operate from range with AoE spells. Due to the Blood Mage taking away all your mana. With the Panda that was possible, but now his Breath of Fire is not as wide and long anymore. Then we tried Naga, that was high tempo, there was a lot of pressure play, but also a bit fragile. So the TC is basically filling the Panda role to shoot the shockwaves from afar, and also, in addition, which the Panda didn't offer, movement speed aura, which is great, because Pally Rifle is really slow, and you want to catch up, and that helps a ton. The problem, sometimes, for the TC is Griffins. And Griffins are coming, and Griffins counter the TC, and Griffins counter the Tauren.
that's where Berserkers then will become relevant again, as they've already been in the early game, and maybe later on also Raiders with Ensnare. Really important, by the way, both players were moving to the shop at daytime. The heal scrolls here are going to be so important, especially on a map like this with only one merchant.
Exactly, because Flame Strike will be devastating on one side, Chain Wave will be devastating on the other side. Infi is pushing a little bit. Lin seems stable. He doesn't have cement yet, but the burrow's far in the back and therefore safe.
First Shockwave didn't hit too well. He's trying to stay out of Siphon range as best as he can. First Siphon didn't do that much. The Orb of Lightning early on, I love to see it. That makes microing so much harder for the human. It's one rifle dead already.
Pulverize looking fine. Gotta save that Tauren for as long as he can. Mana empty, but instantly buying a mana potion.
Berserker here perhaps a bit out of position. Heal scroll being used. Also, good damage distribution here with the Spirit Link, of course. One Tauren still pretty low HP. No Dispel, so the Spirit Link still protects it. No third hero yet for Lin, by the way. Prioritizing that orb first instead of the Shadow Hunter.
Interesting, yeah. Shadowhunter will be coming in later. Infi struggling a little bit during that transition. Refuses to TP. That leads to another rifle, but you want to rotate out the rifles anyway. Can you take some Tauren out? There's no Ancestral Spirit yet.
Flame Strike mostly dodged. It didn't do that much damage. Berserk's in the back also quite hurt. Going for Master Training now would be so sick to revive the Tauren later on. It's 75 seconds on the corpse, so I think it's actually going to be gone by then. And Infi is holding position. Scroll the beats were forced on both sides, and Infi now has the way superior mana, as Pally Rifle tends to do.
Yeah, that Tauren is gone. Dude, that Tauren corpse looks a bit like he's doing a Michael Jackson dance. Hee hee. Yeah, 90 seconds time to revive. That is, of course, gone. And Infi holding his ground really well.
Tiny Great Hall here being picked up by Lin. Lemis, are you in the chat right now? What do you think about this Tiny Great Hall?
Well, well, well. Infi thinks that he's gonna knock it down. And so Lin has to pivot to the right-hand side. That's a long way to go, and I wonder if Infi is gonna scout that.
Main base is going to be suffering. This might be all burrows going down. They're also kind of clumped up against Flame Strike. Not the best base build, maybe. This is painful.
Exclamation mark Infi, realizing this play, realizing the burrow position. Lin a bit late with the repair as well. It's not perfect mining at the moment. There's another flame strike soon. It's only level 1, but the peons, man, they're blocking a little bit. Here's the flame strike. Peons very slow to move out of that. Lin seems very overwhelmed at the moment.
Yeah, this is devastating, dude. This is going to take so long to remake the burrows. Saving peons in the main was also very important. At least there only 2 went down. But this is a lot of time without mining in the main base. Already burrows being made at the expansion. And with the orc not home for so long, I think Infi knew what was happening.
Pretty much, right? This looks like a great play here. He's blocking the entrances with the rifles. Now going into a more defensive position. Blood Mage in a bit of trouble. Shockwave is ready now, but the perfect TP. Shades of the 2020 Iceman.
A player's forces are under attack.
And supply is not looking good. 38 only. If he has time to benefit from both bases, he's going to be looking better and better. But Infi, he must know. He must know there's an expo at the gold mine. Otherwise, there's no reason for Lin to be that inactive in the defense for so long.
Yeah, 100%. Infi's game reading is legendary. Needs a couple of levels though. Needs the flame strike too. The few birdies are up there. Blood Mage levels up. Lin not shying away from yet another fight, even though he's facing the Griffins already, trying to take out these rifles. But the staff is in. Infi is hot.
Beats grow still on, looking for more kills, but here's the Holy Light. Shockwave, maybe can get 1 rifle. Good targeting. Looking for a second one. But the militia are here to help fighting, and the Holy Light is still in. Maybe now, not anymore though. Mana is out for the Pally. Has to be given some from the Blood Mage.
Yeah, the battery is on. At the moment, very little control for Lin in these fights. He needs Raiders for Ensnare to grab the birds out of the sky, finish them off with whatever ground forces you have. Lin, of course, wants time for that expo, for the recovery, but now we are way past the 10-minute mark, and if you watched a couple of broadcasts here recently, this is getting trouble city for orcs when we go towards Lumber, and Lumber for Lin is horrible.
Flame Strike here also wasn't the best. Low HP now on some of the human units. 1 Torrent very close to falling. Seems like that should be an easy pickup. We still don't have Master Training, by the way. No easy reses for these Torrents. You mentioned the Lumber already. It is a problem, but still Lin finding more kills, and it's more time for the expansion. They are running. He's forcing these fights. He's keeping attention away from his mining bases.
Super aggressive play, similar to what he did versus Life, just different timings, and now everything is hurt. We recover, but damage is done. And Infi was on hold here. The supply is not looking great. Infi's macro was fine. He was producing all the time. But currently, there's 4 Griffins, and that's pretty much it. No TP here. Lin can answer with a town portal. The gold is there. So how much can he do? We still don't have cement, and Lin is still supply blocked.
April Burrows easily going down. And Lin again can't produce. This expansion has not paid off too well just yet. He denied one of the Torrents back at home, by the way. Without Master Training, just to open up supply, I guess.
Wow. For Raiders, but then he needs another. He needs either to kill more. A burrow is finishing, but that's only 42 food.
Mass heal potions on Lin here. Is that enough to break through the Pally Rifle army? Now it's mainly Griffins, actually.
Yeah, that's what we have to get used to. 10, 12 Griffins in the late game stages. That's why the Raiders are so important. Infi could knock him out. Blood Mage in trouble, as we mentioned. No TP on Infi.
That is 1 kill. Big kill on the Griffin, but only 1 here so far. Infi still with the supply lead. Easy kills now on the Peasants. Orc here is out of mana, but 2 mana pots available.
Neck and neck fight still, even supply. Level 4 on the Paladin, big upgrade, more Spirit Link. Can he save the Griffins over the Forester with the staff? Paladin also very defensive. A kingdom for a Flame Strike. Rifles, Peasants decimated. Can he knock down these Headhunters? It looks really, really good for 1 more AoE attack.
Oh, everything's so hurt, including the Paladin. Double Orb of Lightning, by the way, because he had so much gold. Didn't even see that until now. TC can purge and also hit air.
Yep, that's right. That's a big help and big control. Everyone is losing everything. Certified Slobber Knocker to open up the series on Northern Isles.
Siphon mana, though, here is so good. And we have more healing again. And there's not much anti-air against these Griffins left. Farseer close level 4, TC close level 5. But yeah, that shockwave, not effective against these Griffins.
And that's why usually you want to go into the base and hit Infi on his one base to get used to shockwave and make use of shockwave. This expo is broken.
It sure is. Normally in the late game also Orc wants to have triple hero for Hero Wave and Hex can be really good. But Lin this time with a different choice, preferring to delay the Shadow Hunter in favor of the expansion. And then there never seemed to be the time to get the third hero with the burrows going down and so on. Oh, Griffin's almost getting caught here by the Raiders looking for the end snare. But Infi sniffs it out, looking to rejoin the army. Still kind of hurt on the Pally, by the way. He's the one guy who can't get Holy Lighted. And
our Headhunter's running into the Griffin. That's some free damage. Was thinking, is there a Raider coming? Maybe. We have a staff. Only 2 Raiders there is. Holy Light from afar, pinning down the Pally. Maybe that's the kill that Lin was looking for.
An Invo Potion, using it here. Farseer also taking a lot of damage. He's trying to go for Zeppelin, I think. Something. What's going on? Lin not going for a purchase right now, and the Farseer goes down to the Flame Strike.
Oh my, he's getting grilled here. Raiders trying to flee, but of course the Griffins can intercept. There's not much left for Lin. He was dominating life in 20 minutes in this best of 5, but Infi is a whole different beast, and Lin currently not up to the task. Has to go for the Tavern, and he is on one base. This costs a lot. Doink.
Doink on the Griffin. That's at least something, but he's so hurt, and he doesn't have the damage to really pull this off. The Siphon Mana is the king of the show right now. And the most mana efficient spell is the Holy Light normally. So not much Flame Strike right now.
There's not much left for Lin. All these Headhunters, all these heroes, the Raiders as well are supposed to bring the victory with one focus. It doesn't work. It's a double kill. The Griffins reign supreme. And Infi is breaking the 3-game win streak of Lin and shows the world that he can still compete with the best there is.
Still doing it with a Pally Rifle against the best Orc in the world. Infi went for a rather early altar on the first map, trying to creep one camp for one item and a bit of experience. This time, later altar, earlier rifles. With that, I guess he's a little bit better able to trade early on, sacrificing these first couple of creep camps at the start. And yeah, if Lin goes for a Naga this time, and he has a good early game, he might be able to prevent level 2 Pally for an eternity.
And he's incredibly good at that, usually. Especially on this map, it makes a lot of sense that this is his loser's pick. I talked about the Demolished Blacksmith by Lin and his pressure play. That was here! Versus 40! So, if you kill the Blacksmith, no more rifles, no threat. But of course, that was an extraordinary game. But goes to show how much pressure you can apply, how dangerous it is, and how ultra defensive Infi has to play for a long time.
Again, we're seeing no Arcane Tower, so there is certainly going to be room to harass with these wolves, especially with Lin's outstanding wolf micro. It's going to make things not too easy for these rifles early. And the goal here is not to kill riflemen. That is very unrealistic against a strong player like Infi, but this is draining lumber already. Militia time is forced. This gives more of a tech edge to the Orc.
Paladin is busy right away with the Holy Light as his first action to save the rifle. 2 rifles out. On 3, we tech. Lin with everything a little bit faster. 2 Headhunter tech. Go to the Naga as fast as possible. Would be my guess. We have no tower just yet, as you say. Tech has been queued. Yeah, so far Infi also not losing much. No militia called. That's important for the lumber, as you say.
2 rifle tech, by the way. So this is a very quick tech for human standards. It means it's going to be a bit lower on rifles early on, and the Headhunters can do some good pressure here, it seems.
Interesting. So he knows he's under pressure earlier and decides to go for a greedy tech. That's very different from Infi like 2 weeks ago.
Zero experience so far, playing around the timing of the wolves very well. Here's the resummon. 1-0 upgrades coming on both sides. Takes a lot of militia time here to stabilize the situation.
And lumber is basically non-existent. Might queue another worker, or would love to queue another worker, but not available. Good damage by Lin. Good recovery for Lin. Tech is, where are we? 50 seconds off. I think this is a Naga play if I ever seen one.
Wolf now giving away the first little bit of experience. 20 XP for the Paladin. All that he's gotten so far. But I'm kind of surprised almost that Infi was able to retain so much mana. I thought this would cost him more mana with so many headhunters in his face.
It did cost the lumber indeed, and everything is kinda hurt, but good retreats. Better safe than sorry. Arcane Tower is up very defensively, so it doesn't buy much room, but Lin wants to retreat anyway as the tech is finishing, and then the Tavern offers a couple of options here.
Yeah, Headhunter parking itself over there. Looks like your call is going to be right on the money. Unless we see a surprise with something else other than a Naga. No.
Alchemist is probably reserved for springtime. Infi gets a
mistake.
headhunter.
Big mistake by Lin. That was a very slow reaction. He had to move the Farseer back. He was blocking the Headhunter. It's not a game-losing loss. Don't want to overstate things, but a very unnecessary loss.
Okay, everything is hurt for Infi though. How is he supposed to fight? He needs time to heal. The wolves are hungry, raging.
3 peasants.
3 peasants indeed, and this is why the Naga shines. This pressure play. Headhunter moving forward. He doesn't have to be afraid of that Arcane Tower. Only units with mana or summons have to. And so this is a bit of regen gone. He is able to queue the Blonde Devil, but he's also supply block after that farm got fixed.
Yeah, this exchange in the end still heavily favors Lin. Lots of kills here. Very annoying with the healing situation. Infi needs the Blonde Devil and the long rifles to really start feeling better here on this map. Bit of a shame that this one Headhunter was lost when it didn't need to be.
Long rifles not even queued yet, and lumber is still looking horrible. And of course, if lumber is horrible, then you can't even think about the beginning of the tier 3 tech, which is usually your win condition. For Lin, things start to get a little fragile here, but he's still the one getting all the kills.
First rifle goes down, more peasants falling, Naga low HP now. Finally the Blood Mage comes, and that means more mana at last. And this might be Lin's time to fall back.
Yes, I would certainly agree. The tier 3 tech is at 50%. He was able to save money for the shop up until now. That is crazy, crazy effective with the fastest tier 3 possible, with the fastest torrent totem possible. And guess what? He got troll regen, so he can stay in that fight. The troll is of assistance, forcing another holy light.
That is second rifle going down. Fantastic early game here for Lin, especially if he keeps the rest of the Headhunters alive. The Naga very low, but now Lin's micro is looking really good. He had that one blunder, that one loss, but other than that, very, very strong.
Also the Naga, Frost Arrow always controlling whatever moves forward. The Farseer sticks around. I wonder if he's overstepping his boundary here and getting a little too cheeky. Or if it's just a perfect retreat like we've seen against Live. Bloodmage trying to catch up, but he can't catch them all.
Needs to block. Lin, Headhunter block. A little bit focused elsewhere at the moment. Here's the block now, though. Damn, what a retreat.
Yeah, he was busy with the Farseer, getting a couple of cheap shots in. And that is now a lot of gold, of course, invested into heal selves. Would love to have heal ward now. One healing cancelled. Very obnoxious play by Infi with that Blood Mage. But of course, he's also super far away because he wants to creep now, usually.
E3 is finished. First Tauren is being made after the first Walker. So it's going to be one Walker for Spirit Link into Taurens. No double totem this time. This also means more lumber for Lin. Could afford more easily, perhaps, things like reinforced defenses. And a third hero.
Right on. Or a Beastery, as Raiders are always part of the late game mix. We don't see any of that just yet. We'll see it in a bit. Farseer still a bit sketchy here, but creep check one after the next. Levels would be scary on Infi's side for Lin. But there's no Fog Lightning yet. Gotta rely on right clicks.
Berserker upgrade just finished. Lin enjoying now a big tech lead. But indeed, Infi is on the way to tier 3. Lumber Mill coming now. Bit of a block against the Blood Mage. But of course, there's Holy Light.
Marching forward, Torrent has arrived. It's going to be a lot about heal scrolls again, especially in the early stages. Shadowhunter is coming. So no TC this time as to be expected. Hex and Heal Wave the priorities. And Infi has queued the tier 3 as well. He needs to hold for a long time. It's like 3 minutes of misery before he can really do something. Lin gets a One of the Wind. That's a lovely item to have when the opponent has no dispel.
Yeah, lots of good targets against this. Or for this, rather. Preventing a Holy Light at the right moment, or just simply interrupting Siphon. Between Shadowhunter and the One of the Wind, he could disrupt this Blood Mage for a long, long time.
Exactly. Without even using Hex. That's a wonderful item. Or you just go for the Blood Mage straight away. Still a bit worried about this Farseer. He never went home really to get an Orb of Lightning. From 2 Orbs of Lightning to 0. Pulverize is about to be finished. This is a great moment for Lin to pounce.
Pal needs only 1 kill for the level 3. Will be a huge level up for the Holy Light upgrade.
So far, Lin is not allowing that though. Last hit goes to the Horde. That's Fork Lightning. That's Chain Lightning.
Oh, Infi, a bit worried. Doesn't like the look of things right here. Doesn't have those Griffins yet. But the first Aviary is almost halfway finished.
That is level 3 now. Lin ready to engage with Pulverize, and this might be a town portal, is it? We got the Scroll of the Beast, great for the fights. 1 rifle killed pretty much immediately, but since we don't have Raiders just yet, this is gonna be a bit harder to control. What we do have is Hex, and what we do have is the Wand of the Wind, the block by the Farseer. Lin exquisite, killing the so important second hero, and guess what? Second charge of the Wand of the Wind keeps the Paleo. This is a TP or a kill.
TP out it has to be. Lin playing this game very, very well. One small mistake early on, losing a Headhunter, but outside of that, this has been picture perfect play out of the Orc player. Swinging back hard on his map pick. Not going for the early Tiny Great Hole this time, rather looking for strong presence on the tier 3 stage.
Yeah, big pressure on Infi, and he couldn't deal with that on this map. Chat is asking, why did he switch from TC to Naga? On Autumn Leaves, the rush distance is very, very small from one base to another. Doesn't take much time, and so Lin went for pressure play instead of a slower approach, which the TC requires, because Naga works on level 1 pretty much right away, offers a lot of control. TC, to be effective, needs level 3, so Lin wanted to keep the pressure on Infi, slowing him down, slowing him down, slowing him down, and that worked beautifully, and that's what the Naga is for. Now, Tiny Great Hall, Lin's win condition.
And also split his forces. The Naga and some Berserkers were creeping in the south and forcing the human back into the main base. Trying to not get caught too badly here. And it's of course one of the weaknesses, one of the few weaknesses for Pally Rifles is no catch. So easy to walk away here. Something I've been wondering, by the way, would an Orb of Slow not be good sometimes for this army?
I guess you need the critical mass of Griffins, and that's more important. If you have the gold at some point, you can probably go for it. But we'll see if that's something down the line. Heal Wave kind of clutch to save the second Headhunter.
Human army here doesn't seem that big yet, but 2 kills were found onto the Berserkers. Make it 3 with the next one falling. Griffin numbers very low at the moment. We have 2 in the air. 1 was hexed. Hex wears off. Flame Strike in the back. Not the most tremendous damage, and mana begins to run low on all sides. And we still have lots of interruption for this Blood Mage, of course, with the Hex always ready.
Yeah, so much mana still. Not much room to unfold for the Blood Mage. Here we go, but counter Hex immediately. Nice save on the Griffin. We're going for the Blood Mage once again. TP transferred. 325 gold gone. Griffin safe to the right-hand side on the cost of 1 rifle. That was an exchange he had to go for, I guess. Lin's Expo is up at mining. Infi is under-leveled. And Bat Riders coming in.
Bat Riders rare to see, considering that Griffin's hard to kill with a bonus armor. They have no armor upgrades, though, so I guess at least that is going his way.
Exactly. Bat Riders good when there's low armor, there is Devotion Aura upgrade, but only level 1. Also good if you have the economy lead, because then you trade more efficiently. If you kill something with the Bad Rider, you get XP. If something is killed by the Bad Rider, the opponent doesn't get XP from the Bad Rider. And this is quite a level-dependent matchup. So a couple of bats sprinkled in, I like.
Infi's going to be falling more and more behind here. Lin is well aware that this expansion is paying off now so damn well. Expensive expansion, the Tiny Great Hall with 600 gold, but it comes up quick and it keeps on paying off. 61 supply versus 54. Supply is actually kind of even right now, but the human army, looking at it, doesn't seem that impressive.
No TP. Very few reinforcements. Paladin level 4 is nice, though is the concave for Lin, but that's disrupted. Flame Strike hits hard as he can on level 1, and that is not much. Infi, desperate times, going for the militia, but once again the Blood Mage under fire. The Hex at perfect time, and the Blanc Devil bites the dust for the second time. This is not much to gain for Infi anymore here. Expo pays off. Human army is gonna get devastated. There is so much control with these two raiders on the ground. The Torrents reign supreme, and this is a Lin win.
Absolutely. Superior numbers here. Lin might be out of mana, but that doesn't really matter. Devastating blows being dealt earlier. That one to the Windman, leading to hero kill, leading to TP force. Lin playing this game really, really well. His map pick goes his way. Important for the rest of the series. Lin is still fighting.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if the 2 rifle tech was necessarily the best decision here, knowing how Lin loves to play aggressive. You could argue, of course, if you have tier 2 faster, then you have a better solution faster against that Naga play, but he was pushed so far in his base, couldn't really leave, lots of damage done, farms falling as well. Lin played this as one would expect on Autumn Leaves. High pressure, high tempo, and no chance for Infi to follow that up. Whoever wins this gets match points on the follow-up map, and whoever loses this has to win back-to-back maps to stay in the tournament and ascend to day 3. We do have the Blade Master as expected, and he is up against the Mountain King.
Against the Mountain King indeed. And I think Lin has the read here, doesn't he? He's going Blade Grunt into Headhunters with the War Mill. This looks like mirror image creeping. If he was facing an Archmage, fast level 3, you know, all that, and then push strat, this would be very dangerous to go for. I think Lin is expecting MK Expo play, and he's going for a passive route. This is what we saw in the group stage as well, right? That crazy game with expansions and griffins and all that, and Mongolems.
Exactly. This is pretty much precisely what was played by Fortitude versus Lin. And it was one of the greatest games of the last week of the group stage. So I guess both know what they're dealing with. Mountain King has shown his strength in the Night Elf matchup already. Is a force to be reckoned with, but both heroes need some time.
Both would benefit a lot from good items. First big item for the MK is not good at all. Ruined Bracers, always the most useless against Orc, it turns out, but at least it's going to be good gold. The great thing by Mirror Image, with Mirror Image is also, you can use these illusions to creep better. Pulls out the camp, and now the Merc might also be taken for the Orc.
And Shadow Priest on both sides, a little bit of healing, and Dispel, most important for Infi to get rid of these illusions as fast as possible. Nice little nuke you got there. Also Ring of Protection, these scale with the mirror images. So it's a nice find and good longevity for the summons. Item is a flute. Since he's going Headhunters, not bad.
It might be a lot of Berserkers in the end against a lot of Griffins. So there, the aura could work out quite well indeed. As we are creeping up camp after camp, one by one, and level 3s are about to be reached. And then the MK normally gets very strong with level 2 Stormbolt and Boots. They can go on a hunt. Especially easy to find those kills against Headhunters.
Exactly. It is going to be Stormbolt Bash in the beginning. My big question is for weeks, will you retrain to Clap? I think it is the weapon of mass destruction, especially in late game stages. Infi, notice this the first one when it was on a War 3 Champions ladder versus TSEOG, refuses to go clap. And I don't really understand why, because it should be the hard counter to what's coming with the before-mentioned mass berserkers.
Look at these headhunters, by the way. Lin with a crazy read. He's anticipating the MK to run across the map to be aggressive, and he's getting ready to cancel the Expo just with 3 headhunters. Is that enough damage, though?
Oh boy, he's going for the workers that will delay the tower. No progress here. In the meantime, the Mountain King goes on the hunt as you suggested. That's a Stormbolt, that's a Berserker killed. Also the Shadow Priest not looking too good. We got one more Stormbolt here. Mountain King doesn't have a staff. He doesn't have a great response to these Berserkers up top.
Goodies are running back, trying to deal with the headhunters then. And some peasants were forced off the line, but honestly, not many died. I think it was 1 or maybe 2 peasants going down. And the MK would love to get some kills now. Staff over to the footman. Hammer is locked and loaded.
I was about to say, like, I really like this play, putting pressure onto this expansion at the same time, creating distance between the Mighty Hammer and the Headhunters. Didn't lead to much, but a delay, a couple of kills, and only 1 Headhunter falling against the aggression play by Infi.
Boots on the Blade Master, I love to see. This gives you super fast mirror images along with the Blade Master. He can now peasant harass a little bit. It's not much damage, but it's something you have to deal with sooner or later. A little bit of dispel going to be necessary here, but the expansion is now up and mining.
Gotta be a little careful to not overfeed the Mountain King, since mirror images do damage. They also give XP, and a strong Mountain King is the key to this matchup for Infi. Creepcraft continues with double ring on the illusions now. Level 4 is usually the breaking point for Blade Master mirror image to be really good. He sold the flute. That is an indicator that we won't see too many headhunters anymore, as he's pivoting to Radar, Kodo, Tauren, Walker.
No tier 3 tech yet. Certainly couldn't be afforded. Lumber is too low. Speaking of lumber, he's got 6 lumber peons. Where's number 7? Ah, number 7 is building the Great Hall normally. I see.
There's an expansion coming. Infi with a crazy read and a crazy timing. On the other side, you gather a lot of information with your mirror images pretty much the entire time. Also gives the Mountain King level 4. Infi on the way to tier 2, but 2 minutes off.
Mirror image could also cancel a bit of healing here. Good play with the mirror image. By the way, Blade Master found a big mana potion earlier on, and that way he was able to spam so much of the mirror image. Pretty unlucky though with the permanent items. Only rings. Some rings are good, don't get me wrong, also for mirror image. But you want to find some damage as well. This is almost no damage.
That's right, and Last Refuge is usually a map where you can expect a pimped Blade Master, lots of claw spots, also Boots of Kel'Thalas. This Expo is a very, very fragile construction. Shadowhunter isn't here just yet. Blade under fire, and so many more kills possible for this Mountain King.
Big army right here for Infi. Looks like this should be an easy cancel of the expansion. Or will it be? We have a Mud Golem joining in. Infi with so much gold. He can go for the mercenaries here easy. And gets that cancel indeed easy.
Oh, wow. What an absurd timing this is for Infi. Halfway to tier 2. He's calling the boys. He's calling the footmen. He's calling the mercs. Even the Mauler, which is his new favorite merc. On the other side, Muddy, Lin's new favorite merc. And that Expo has been cancelled. Infi with a surgical strike.
Maybe lots of follow-up kills though. MK is running out of mana, and then he gets a lot weaker. Blade Master can always still deal damage. As you pointed out, not the best damage items, but still good stats and very hard to kill.
Shadowhunter level 2 pretty much immediately. Had to go for heal wave early to get some sustain in the fights. Now we got Hex. Blade gotta be careful. There might be chances to dodge Stormbolts if they come in. With Mirror Image, he takes out a Berserker. He took out the Mauler. That's great XP for Lin.
Stormbolt gets the next kill. Lin indeed getting more and more pickoffs as well. Close to that level 5. MK if there was a hex, he might be dead here.
Ensnare! There is!
Wait, he staffed too early!
Yep.
He staffed too early!
There we go!
Oh, big mistake!
4 points around, and just like that, from canceling an expansion to losing the carry hero. What a fall from grace, and that is a level 5 mirror image crit Blade Master, a force to be reckoned with.
That Hunter also almost got level 3 with that. Blade Master. Lots of mana still. How does he have so much mana this entire game? I don't even understand.
Lin's sanity, dude. He defies physics. Infi finally arrived at tier 2. He has the economy lead. Lin is waiting for more gold to get a second attempt up. He's not that on the way to tier 3. Going pillage now. Has to lean into the strong Blade Master.
Now the expo can be started. It takes almost 2.5 minutes. Can Lin distract for long enough? I would think so. Lin is looking really strong right now. Agitome, pick it up. Finally some more damage on this Blade Master. With a level 3 mirror image.
Plus Scroll of the Beast, of course. Also no Dispel. Infi has taken the tech lead. And Griffins are what we're used to seeing. Lin played double Muddy against that, interestingly. Very rare to see. Can't really strike on the altar anymore. The Blood Mage is out. The tech has been started. It is some nice resources, of course, and distraction.
Lin is trying to fight and trade right now. He's got Spirit Link. He's got full mana level 3 Shadow. Level 5 Blade, of course, and also a heal scroll. If Infi runs in the Militia here, it might be a lot of kills for Lin.
Lin anticipated the timing perfectly for that. Stormbolt would have been the dodge of the target. Was the Blade Master. Scroll of the Beast. Infi is forced into a TP from his own home turf to find a better fighting spot.
Looks like the way into the main base is wide open. Only one tower there is defending. It's an arcane. That's good mana drain. It's not good damage. The Spirit Link in general makes the damage taken here minimal, seemingly. Heal Scroll is still available. Shadowhunter still with some mana. Across the map, the footy went for mercenary support. If he gets the cancel here, I think he needs this cancel to have a chance this game.
Oh man, Shadow Priest and Muddy joined forces. In the north, we go for the Mountain King once again. Blade Master can't find the spots in the fight that easy because he doesn't have Windwalk, but the Raiders are here, the Hex is here, the Backstep is here, and the Mountain King goes down for the second time. Infi in shambles, has to rely on a level 1 Blood Mage at the Militia Call.
He's going to give it up here. He was on the way to tier 3 with an expansion, but Lin finds the timing. A level 5 Blade Master with a lot of mirror images does win this game. He got very scary after getting the expansion cancelled, but the Blade at that point just seemed unstoppable. Northern Isles worked out well with the Pally rifles. The fast Tiny Great Hall indeed seemed to be backfiring. Lin perhaps going to be more cautious this time with that 600 gold investment. Of course, tier 3 and Tiny is far away. At the start, we have to focus on the early game, where it's going to be a micro battle on both sides. Militia Call and kiting, very important for both players, and trying to minimize those losses.
Lin, from a 5-game losing streak into the second last day of the tournament. It is a possibility. Everyone who is still in the tournament starting tomorrow and the day after is probably rooting hard for Infi to just have weaker opponents, as Lin is a threat to absolutely everyone. We'll see what the creep routes are. We start with the green. That's a little jump start, as Lin was taking the little camp in front of his base as well. So a tiny bit more of a passive start for Lin. The big question for Infi is 2 rifle tech or 3 rifle tech, and we're about to see that.
Tech has already begun. This one was really fast with only 1 burrow. So it's going to be stuck on 2 headhunters here for not long, really. But yeah, this is going to be a very fast tier 2. For a long time, by the way, the Panda second was very popular on this map because the creep route here for Panda is insanely good. You get him at the tavern, you go for the shop right away, instant level 2, then you fall back to your main base. Maybe go for the orange or for a couple of greens, and getting level 3 is very, very easy with that. If you go for a TC, then that creep route cannot be the same, of course, as you don't start from the tavern.
This is why, probably why Lin has played a bit of Alchemist here. Similar creep route, similar effect. You can throw the acid bomb from afar, similar to how you would throw a breath of fire. But that didn't lead to too much success. It could be a Naga, depending on the early game. It could be a Naga or a TC as well. It's not that easy to read as it was on Autumn Leaves.
I think Lin so far forced almost no militia. Now we got 2 coming out, but this is way easier on the lumber economy compared to the previous games. For Infi, it seems, with so few militia forced. Then again, 1 peasant went down, so a little bit of a wrinkle there.
And last hit for Lin, big one. Level 2
huge.
unlocked. The mammoth goes down and the levels go up. What a last hit for Lin this was. Huge exclamation mark.
Yeah, this level 2 for him secured, and level 3 for the Pally prevented for a long time. This Tuskar will now not be enough. First big exclamation point for Lin in this game. And that is not a very comfortable creeping spot for Infi.
Yeah. He does a bit more firepower than before. Needs a farm, gets a farm. No farm goes down during due to the harass. For Lin, it's decision time. A decision time was made. No Naga, no Alchemist, but the TC comes back.
Alright, second time the TC was a strategy in this series. On Northern Isles, of course, it was not successful. TC, I think, not really to blame for that, though. He had good progress, good fast level 3. He would love to snipe a shop here. Ideally, if he could.
Will he have the time? So far, it looks like it. We split the Farseer to the side. TC will meet with the rest of the army in the north. Can Lin get another last hit? We do have Chain Lightning.
Very close.
Big mana for Infi. Love that he puts...
Farseer. Far on the enemy side of the map, by the way. With a Pally, of course. Is he trying to force the TC away from creeping, I wonder?
Still trying to get level 2 here. The burrows are again far in the back. It's not too easy to reach them. It's a relatively classic 6-minute timing for the first rifle push. Infi might be willing to give up his town portal here.
It's also very hard for the Blood Mage to rejoin with the rest of the army. Having the totem cancel the first one would be really, really painful here. But kind of hard to reach. And yeah, Infi is going deep right here.
Yeah, the base build helps Lin right now. Question is for how long. Infi doesn't seem too sure what to go for. TC was leveling. Big invo potion for him. And there's no damage done to the base. I think Lin can be happy with this.
You see now rejoining with the rest. A little bit of a shockwave to greet these rifles. And it's quite a bit of damage on many of them.
Is he trying to run away from an endurance or a TC? I don't think you can.
We have 2 rifles joining and the Blood Mage. Soon to be there. Oh, important Holy Light. Just in time.
Pressure on Infi, man. I feel like he has to get something done here. Of course, he's buying time. Again, Chain Lightning is up for grabs. He didn't get that, right? No, Infi got the Mammoth. Oh, he's in trouble with the Paladin now. We got a Chain Lightning. Infi got a TP, and he does.
TC as well, low HP. Can he survive this? Doesn't want to use the invuln here and doesn't have to. The rifle also. Everyone is barely surviving after this exchange.
Oh, high-class gaming here. Nice decision-making. They're playing it on the edge, as this is the biggest tournament in Warcraft 3. And of course, they want to stay alive for the second last day. A little bit of time to recover. And this time, Lin is not moving ahead with his Farseer to cancel that. Rather continues to creep together. With the TC also being too low. He doesn't have any tanks for creeping. Which is not an issue for Infi, of course. Everything can tank, thanks to the glorious Holy Lights.
He needs that level 3, it seems. Farseer was at the shop, didn't pick up the Orb of Lightning yet. And Infi, I feel like his tech timing is looking pretty good. Wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Barracks.
It's a second barracks and it's also buried far in the base. Is he playing knights against Tauren?
He's going for rifle upgrades.
More rifles, more good? What the hell?
There's something I've never seen before.
Me neither.
Maybe also news to Lin.
With enough fire, they're of course great, but we got walkers.
It's just rifles so far. More rifle upgrades. Only now the first attack upgrade for the rifles, by the way. That's pretty late, but gonna finish quick.
We got a defense upgrade first, which is also interesting. Okay, Lin pushing with shockwave.
Now we saw the second barracks.
Yeah. Bit of damage done, just poking, not committing too much. Only light on the peasants, so Infi is of the opinion that he needs more lumber.
In the meantime, Lin is going for lots of upgrades. Improved pulverizers coming, along with adept training for the walkers. And not too far off from master training, maybe, for those walkers. And a lot of gold on Lin as well, who again is not going for a third hero, by the way.
Yeah, also not going for a second base just yet. No tiny throw, doesn't feel too comfortable. He's banking for that, possibly, as more peons are coming in. He's adding another peon for more lumber. I really like that. TCCs, no production just yet. Now a Griffin Aviary is coming. I'm very confused by what Infi is doing here.
Yeah, so far, this second barracks has not made any sense, to be honest.
Exactly. Lin, appreciating the hybrid laming, as they call it in the Pally Rifle University. One army constantly putting pressure on the base, throwing the shockwaves, and the rest of the army creeping.
A player's forces are under attack.
Tiny Great Hall is now up. 600 gold investment that has not paid off yet. Also, the orb on the Fascia, so this was just 1,000 gold spent at the shop for Lin. We didn't invest into more units.
What if the second Rex is a misclick and he wanted to build a Griffin Aviary with BG, but he built BB and it's a barracks?
That would be very sad. He's going for Griffins now. He's also going for Animal War Train. I guess there the barracks helps out. TC is already out of mana, but the Torrent's also doing some AoE damage with the Pulverize. Looking for the Purges now.
I don't know if Infi can fight this man without the birds in the sky. This army is not competitive. This is the Blood Mage. How do you get him out there with a Flame Strike? He burns himself. Big damage on these Headhunters, but of course only level 1. That's been the issue on Infi this entire series. He seems a bit overwhelmed here. The rifles aren't kiting anymore. Infi falling apart.
More and more losses. Lin is getting far ahead with an expansion in the back. Completely untouched so far. Lin is looking absolutely phenomenal here. This is looking a lot like the 3-1 win right now with Infi 10 supply down.
Mana is not looking too great on that Blood Mage anymore. The Griffin didn't do too much. He's able to save himself, moves him back. This is a little bit of Hail Mary here for Headhunters. Tauren attacking the base with the Pulverize.
Between.
Oh, that's so much damage on the economy. Something that Infi can't afford really, because Lin got that second base up. He got the second Torrent totem up. Infi is in dire straits.
2 Torrents did go down there in the base. Pretty expensive. Pally also in trouble. Can't afford to lose him. He's the most important piece of the army. With a heal scroll or a potion, he survives a bit longer. But Infi in absolute shambles. Not even mining right now. He's getting absolutely bullied here outside his main.
Bullied by Torrent. I like that. What can he do, man? He is 20 food down against an expansion of a tier 3 orc player. 4/4 heroes. Invo potion against any Hail Marys that might be possible. The production is in shambles. The economy is in shambles. And there's no counter push at all. Infi needs a miracle.
No shop either. No clarities. This is looking like the Warchief is marching through. Would mean a good distribution for us for the coming days. He is, after all, the last orc alive. And he's ready to close this one out.
I guess the Western Pally Rifle... the Western Anti-Pally Rifle University is pleased with Lin's plays here. This is a push, but oh my god. It's like... you can't even push a kindergartner with that army.
He's looking very, very little, very insufficient at the moment. Next shockwave, next kill being lined up. Where even is the Paladin? He's back at home. Has to rejoin his forces, but Lin now with a staggering 25 supply lead. This one's done, man.
Infi started strong, but couldn't step it up when Lin equalized this, and then it was a lot of momentum of the for the Warchief, and not too competitive here in map 3 and 4. We got another bat in against the Griffins. We got one armor upgrade. All right, it's still half the HP gone. It's still the staggering 20 food lead. We got a surround. There's no TP. The staff's on cooldown. This is the knockout punch. The flame strike hits hard, but there's 2 heal scrolls. Lin eliminates life, and he eliminates Infi, and he makes it to the second last day of the Super League.
And I am glad to have been wrong about my prediction. Lin, seeing him make it through here is, I think, what we all wanted to see. Lin survives the day. He will play again tomorrow. Next opponent, by the way, will be Cajo. And Lin still kicking. Would have been a bit of a downer if after such a strong comeback in the regular season, now Lin wasn't able to play up to that level. But indeed, he was. Lin playing on an insane level today. What he did to life, I'm not sure if I've seen in recent years. And also, all in all, very, very convincing against Infi.